Hi all, welcome back to more Enemy Action Ardennes. Playing Allied Soul. This is my take two. Um, this would be part 8, although Ramon, who's been watching along both these playthroughs and my previous playthroughs of this game, has suggested that I maybe label these as I did before with a date. So yeah, it probably does make more sense rather than just have them all just part one, part two, part right through, because I did do that before. Um, so I suppose this would be take two, the 16th, part 8. Because we're sort of, yeah, every video's been on the 16th. So it is part 8, but 16th. But I will start labeling them, I'll re-label the ones that are out there just to make it easier, because I did do that previously. Although I noticed watching back on my footage previously, when you got to remember these were the first videos that I had done, the Enemy Action series, the German solo first, and then the Allied solo. Well, briefly, what was it? I'd done some kind of AAR playthrough first as well. Anyway, I don't really make an announcement about where we are in the game. I just hit record and started, because I've been watching back on some of that just to try and get me into the swing of things again. And also Ramon had been watching back on it and picked up a few points and noticed a few errors, and I've been looking back over that to see if I could spot what he was talking about, and if there were errors. There's maybe a couple that I found that weren't really as such, but he did point out 2 or 3 that have been, and I've not watched all through it yet, all his comments and whatever. So yeah, been away for a bit. Like I say, not going to get to the table so much. Going to get a little bit started tonight, and I'm hoping that I might get a little bit done tomorrow night as well. So hopefully that'll make a part at least, and maybe 2 if we get going. But you know, so we're on. Where are we? Yeah, well, there's the German cards left. I want to say, well, let's just count them. 10 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, only 7. Only 7 cards left at the German deck, and we have this is our hand of 4 cards, and we've still got 1 card in the draw pile. Now I want to say I worked out that was the 5th core card, wasn't it? The one with the core artillery. So that's just a deduction. That's a simple deduction that's worked out that's that card. Because I left the last 5 to 10 minutes of the last part talking about what I was going to do to try and stop some of the shenanigans that are going on here. I have to say, I've been watching back on my previous playthrough, and yeah, I mean, these things happened. They broke through and took quite a lot of points, and this is to be expected. You've just got to limit it as much as you can, really, haven't you? Right, what have we got to talk about? Is there anything? One thing just before I hit record there, I wanted to look up on, and I'll mention that in a minute. Looking back, yeah, a few comments. Glad to have me back, and that. Thanks, guys. I don't want to stop doing this. Just yeah, it's like I say, going to quieten down a bit. But it makes it, when I do get the time to actually come and do it, and I look forward to it much more. It does mean that this playthrough is going to take longer than the previous one, but anyway. So yeah, Ramon had said happy to have me back as well. I'm just looking at comments from part 7. Well, this is part 8, isn't it? Yeah, that was part 7, that's right. Concerning this error, I noticed that I've added a comment to part 6. What the heck was that again? And somebody, you should swap the head. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to just take his summary, though, because Ramon's looked over this error regarding... it was the advance after combat, wasn't it? I forgot all about this. And his summary, and I'm just going to take his summary here. I did look at his comment in part 6. If you want to look at the video, YouTube video, he's got a comment in part 6. I think he highlights... I think he's probably got it time stamped, and he explains what should have happened and what it was that I did wrong. I'm not going to go over all that. You can go over that. He says, in summary, you should swap the hex position of units with selector numbers 3 and 8. What core was it? Was it 58 core? It was in 47. No, it was 47, wasn't it? 3 and 8. So there's 3 and there's 8. Right, I'm going to do that. Now, it would have meant that the attack up here would have been 1 strength less, because that's a 3 strength. Ooh, did I take that from there? I did, I think. Yeah. It would have been 1 strength less, but it was a complete massacre up there, so I don't think anything else would change there. So I'm just going to make that change that he's summarised, rather than go through it all about what happened. So thanks for that, Ramon. Thanks for doing all that hard work to work it out, because I just thought, I'm just going to leave that. I did think that it was these 2 units, didn't I? Because I talked about, I think it even mentioned that surely unit selector number, actually maybe it was 2 I said, would have moved before unit 8, but we'll go with that. We'll go with what he said there. And then he also said, I would suggest you consider adding the corresponding date of the video title, as you did in the previous playthrough. So I will make an adjustment to that, and we'll do that from... It'll come about. Yeah. So John Brown left a couple of comments as well. Let's just quickly go over them. Yeah, so John's first comment at the 22-minute mark. It's under the definition of a defender adjacent. So I'm looking at defender adjacent, and this is the combat chits, isn't it? So it's on page 44. He says it's got applies if the defender is adjacent to a non-dispersed unit in supply and friendly to the defender, which is not yet being attacked in the current impulse. Yeah, that's important, but an important bit that I did miss out. But he does, yeah, I actually get to this, don't I? Answer this yourself later. He says, you answer this yourself later at 38:45. Fair enough. Yeah, his next comment was at 41:15, and it was talking about how I'm dealing with the victory points, I guess. He says your way works well since I keep forgetting to check for an even number of units in the Allied eliminated units box. So he then does it. He now tallies half for each Allied unit eliminated by putting the 1 XP marker halfway between the 2. I'm just going to stick to the way I'm doing it. So if there's 2 eliminated units, I'm going to take them out. I've got a wee cup, just a little cup separate. There's the 2 units. So I can keep track of that if we really need to go over it. And obviously if they take any victory point towns, we'll be adding that as well. But they've only got 1 victory point at the moment. So then finally, this was an important one, which I maybe didn't, I think I knew about, but I maybe didn't mention. The raise alarm. So at the 51-minute 5-second mark, he says, the raise alarm also lets you ignore the only move 1 hex restriction for non-net units. And I've eventually had to double check that this was still in effect. And it is. It lasts for the 16th, that for non-net units, we can only move 1 hex. However, that raise alarm allows you to ignore that. And I think does it not tell you that under the restriction of the 16th? Is there not one of these playdays that talk about these restrictions on the 16th? Somewhere, yeah. Again, see. Oh, here we go. Allied on the playrate here. Let me see that. Top. Allied non-mechanised units may only move 1 hex when activated. This is for the 16th only. Does not apply to a unit moving via the raise alarm event or the reinforced battle combat tactic. So yeah, so he's just reminding us there. But yeah, that was me talking about getting the... But hang on here, I just came across something, and it was because I was watching back my previous playthrough. Hang on, let me read on what John's saying there. But yeah, there's no way you can get past the 3 movement point, not even as you point out with strategic movement. That said, deploying a unit as a reserve and is not the same as activating it. Yeah, I don't know if I made that clear. I was aware of that. I kind of think I did. But if we use a card to deploy... If we use a card to deploy this 5th core unit, so we say, then we can activate that in our next impulse. It doesn't count as activating it. So, and the same is true for if we activated 5th Corps in the last impulse, we could still deploy this reserve in this next impulse. So you don't need a gap between that. It's only when you're activating consecutively, not when you're doing other things. Same applies to when you're assigning replacement points. That doesn't count as activating as well. So so it was just John pointing that out. You can deploy a unit as a reserve in one impulse and then activate the unit in the next impulse. Yeah, like I've just said. What was I trying to... Give me a second. Yeah, my problem was that strategic movement can't end. I think I was talking about getting to Veal Sam with these units, wasn't it? Or one of these units. And then my other thinking was, again, deploying the 5th Corps unit in here somewhere and not having enough movement. But again, strategic movement can't end adjacent to... Yeah, it's Veal Sam. St. Vith's okay. Well, I mean, I'm saying it's okay. Well, yeah, it is okay, because there's not a unit adjacent to the roadblock. Yeah, so that's fine. It's more about Veal Sam, isn't it? But what I didn't... When I was talking about strategic movement... Now, hang on, I had the page open and I moved it. For some reason, I thought it was double. It is double for a mechanised unit. This is allied strategic movement. And I read that. I remember in fact, I was still open at that page. So I think I just read about it. I mean, there's restrictions. And the big one that's stumping us here is you can't end it adjacent to a German unit. So although I can move this double 5 movement, so 10 movement, I can't end in that hex because it's adjacent to a German unit. But I didn't go into the infantry. And I was watching my previous playthrough. And I was like moving infantry units 9 hexes. And I'm like, what? I'm like, how's that? That's more than double. And I actually thought, my initial thinking was an infantry unit moves 3 and it can add another 2 movement. Well, no, it is true that for Allied strategic movement, on page 37, Allied infantry, movement allowance is tripled to 9. So any infantry unit can actually strategically move 9 movement. I'm assuming the German movement is maybe the add 2, is it? I'm guessing, I think that's where I'm getting it from. German movement methods, extended move. Mechanised unit expends up to its entire movement allowance again. An infantry unit expends up to 2 additional movement. Yeah, so it's the Germans that can do that. So as for the Germans, they can double their mechanised units up to 10. However, their infantry, they only add 2 to the 3. So it's quite a bit different. So, yeah, I need to keep that. But that still doesn't help us end there with an infantry. So it would have meant I would have been able to, but yeah, I can't end adjacent to a German unit. Okay. Right, thanks for your comments anyway, John. That's about it. Now, I left a comment in the header to start with on that part, saying that at the 12-minute 45-second mark that this is incorrect. I'm talking about these bridges, and I went back and checked the rules, and these 1, 2, 3, this one starts broken as well, although pretty sure this one got repaired in the initial card setup part of basically the German first impulse got repaired. But each one of these 4 bridges are actually German controlled. And any bridges beyond this, see this bridge here, for instance, this is German controlled as well. So is this one. The ones that are east of the West Wall hexes are German controlled. But I did wrongly say that these were Allied controlled, the 4 broken ones. That's not true. It does tell you in the rules that the 4 broken bridges are German controlled from the beginning. So if this does get repaired, it would automatically be a German bridge, you know. So, right, okay. I think that's all I had to talk about. I believe. Well, one other quick thing. This way I've got it. Again, watching back over some and watching Ramon's comments, and he was leaving comments in quite a few places in my previous German and Ally solo video about confirmations that had came from John Butterfield. And all these confirmations came from my playthrough. I'm not trying to blow my trumpet here or anything like that, but there was a lot of questions come up through my playthrough, and of course Martin was there following along, and he answered as much as what he could, but there was quite a lot that got left, and he felt like it was worthwhile asking John Butterfield. And this is where Ramon was highlighting them. And I thought, yeah, was there not some kind of document? And yeah, Martin posted all these on BGG, and he sent all these questions to John Butterfield. And I thought, yeah, I should probably have them. And yeah, he sent me the questions, well, maybe before or after he'd sent them to John. So here's all the questions with John Butterfield's answers here. And I'm going to keep these handy because I'm pretty sure a lot of these things are going to come up. I mean, there's, he sent a wee image. This was my actual playthrough and what we were talking about, the question getting asked. And you can see there's quite a lot, 6, 7 questions, up to 9 there. In fact, it goes up to 11, there's more, 12. So it's 12 questions, and then he also had some follow-up questions there, which I've just taken from BGG. Now, I'm not saying all these questions were things that came up in my game, because Martin, I believe, was playing alongside, if you like. Well, he was playing his own game along to see how things were matching up, maybe, or whatever. So I think maybe there was a few things cropped up in his game as well. So I'm not saying they were all came from mine. But it's a shame that these haven't been added to the errata. When Mr. Butterfield can be doing that, but I know, busy with lots of other things. This is one of his, well, can you say this is one of his best games? To me it is. So personally, it is, but I mean, he's designed lots of wonderful games, hasn't he? So, and I suppose what I'm wanting to say to that is it's a shame that maybe these haven't been added yet to a new errata document that, but the other thing is a lot of people are quite comfortable playing this game not maybe as detailed as I am. I'm like I say again, going back to, I've been watching through my old playthrough of it, and what the detail that I try and go into, and but that's why these little questions all came out. It was it's interesting. I get so much enjoyment at it. And it seems to me, I think, the biggest part is actually moving it's that AI. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to faff about an AI. They want the AI to be simple. You draw a card, you do something, and you move on. Like the more modern sort of, what's the word? It's no bot. It's whatever you draw a card and you look at some symbols and you do the thing, and then it's your turn. It's like nothing's happened. In this game, the more time is spent actually moving the AI, but I get a right kick out of that. That's what I really enjoy about the game. I probably enjoy that more than actually moving my own units. I don't know, maybe that's a bit strange, but that's just how it is. Anyway, I dare say they will be documented somehow, but they're not in any kind of document, not even on BGG. I mean, it's a shame maybe Martin couldn't put these. I don't know if you're allowed to do any of that or not, though. But these were all quite important things that come up, and they're going to come up in this game as well. And I want to say that 2 or 3 of them have probably came up already. Yeah, we'll talk about them when they come, because that's me 19 minutes in. We've not done nothing. And I've not got loads and loads of time tonight. I'm hoping to have a bit more time tomorrow night, but it would be nice to just squeeze a small part in just now, and then maybe get another part tomorrow, Grant, wouldn't it? Okay, well, what are we going to do about things here? I want to say that I was trying to watch. I was starting to watch back in the very end of the part, and then I thought, let's just try and work it out myself. I want to say, I think the best idea was going to be to deploy the 5th Corps unit with a raise the alarm, I guess. course, the other thing, yeah. So I'm looking for 3 impulses here to be able to, before they take VOSAM. That's, so I'm needing to get lucky. But there's I suppose there's other ways you could do it, Grant, isn't there? Because we've got, that's a raise alarm, that's a raise alarm, these are not. So I've got 2 raise alarms. Allows me to deploy 1 unit or move 1 unit. Now the other thing I've got, which I kind of forgot about, was activate any 1 unit. All these cards have activate any 1 unit. So I've got 4 cards. And I've got 1 more card to draw as well. You can only do that once a day. We're coming near the end of the day anyway, so it's not as if that's an issue. But again, if I activate any 1 unit, I could activate 1 of these and move it up. We know I can't strategically end up there, but I could move it to a position within 5 of there, right? And then do an impulse in between. I think we do have the 12 core card to deploy the 2 12 core units. Do an impulse in between. And then I could, well, I can't activate in 1 unit again, but I could then raise alarm by moving that unit again. And there's an impulse in between to avoid the consecutive activations. So I could do it that way, or I could raise the alarm and deploy the 5th core unit. And we know that the 5th core card's going to be drawn next. But we know I can't move it, so then I would have to either use activate any 1 unit and move them to a position. Yeah, it's 3 impulses either way, isn't it? Whatever way I do it, it's 3 impulses either way to get a unit into VOSAM, and that's assuming that the Germans don't take VOSAM. I don't know if there's a better way of doing it or not. Yeah, I feel like I should be at least trying that. Well, let me think. Let me pause and have a think. Alright, so I'm starting to think back here. I talked about activating 1 of these, I think. Strategically moving it. However I'm activating it, either whether it's raise alarm, activating 1 unit, or I do have the 8 core card. Strategically moving it, just 1 of them, leaving the other one in Bastogne. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, I was able to get to 3 points, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I don't think you can, Grant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I can. Sorry, I just went up that way, I think. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I can. So if I put that guy up there, then Germans get an impulse, obviously. And obviously, the take VOSAM, that at least we've got this covered. Yeah, I think initially I thought put in Manhay, but then I thought, well, this is under threat as well. Yeah, the 5th core unit could, well, it's not going to be able to deploy and then move. Yeah, I actually think that's maybe the best option. And then, impulse in between, we use the 12 core card to deploy the 2 12 core units, or we're drawing the 5th core card, we deploy the 5th core unit, then assuming VOSAM's then still okay, yeah, probably the 5th, I don't know, whatever, and then if VOSAM's still okay, we activate this unit again, either with activate any 1 unit or this, and move it into VOSAM. I think that sounds good. Let's do that. So let's raise the alarm there. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm going to play this and raise the alarm. 16 to 18. Let's just double check the date. 16 to 17 on another one. Right. So 16 to 18, raise the alarm. Right, hang on. Let's move things about a little bit. Okay, so player red, raise alarm says, move any one unit as full movement allowance using strategic movement if eligible, or deploy one unit from the reserve units box, deploy the unit normally or as a strategic reserve, even if not so designated. So they're pretty powerful then, actually. And remember, if this was an infantry unit, we would be able to ignore the 1 hex movement on the 16th. Yeah, let's just do this, Grant. Let's do it. Right, so I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to take the first one and move them. Remember, strategic movement doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I can do another more 5 movement as long as I'm not breaking any of the restrictions of... It says, the unit must move through hexes connected by roads. The unit may not move adjacent to an enemy unit, even a unit that exerts no control, but may move adjacent to a German detachment. The unit may not enter a German town or city. The unit may not cross a German bridge. And the unit may not enter a West Wall hex. So it can't move adjacent to an enemy unit. That is the big one. That's why we can't go 1, 2, 3, 4 into here, because we're then adjacent. Right, so 5 more movement we can do. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to finish in Trois Ponts. And that's going to be that. Right, so that's that. Now, notice the wee cubes that I was using. They were wee green. I don't even know where they are. Give me a sec. Right, I found some other little cubes. So these are sort of solid wooden cubes. Right, and that was just, I was using the likes of that, because there is somewhere we've got the green sort of see-through cubes regarding an IP, but this marker was just to say that that core, yeah, but that core can't be activated again, can it? Is it anything in the core? I think so, isn't it? I think it is. I think if you activate any one unit in the core, then the whole core cannot activate next turn. And they brought out, End of Action Kharkov, they introduced markers for this to say that that was the last core that was activated, whatever. But they didn't have that in this game. No, obviously, you learn from game to game, don't you? And that's why they brought these out. Right, that's it. That's all we're doing. Yeah, I mean, I suppose technically, in effect, I could have activated any one unit with that card as well, couldn't I? Well, I suppose I've still got that on my sleeve. Yeah, because you can only do that once a day, whereas that was an event we used. Yeah. Okay, that's me done. That's my impulse over. This card gets discarded. We draw back up to 4 cards. So let's just confirm that this is the 5th core card. It is. Right, so that's the one that's got the core artillery. However, we do have 1 5th core unit. But I think our plan next impulse is to either deploy the 2 12 core units in the reserves or the 5th core unit. I'm not sure which. There's not a necessity. The 12 core units are way down. Their core area, you can see, is just to here. So it's just this line here. So they've got to be down here somewhere. And in fact, they're going to have to be within 3 of that. So they're going to be down here, which isn't really threatened as much. Whereas maybe that 5th core unit, deploying it somewhere up there. Because if we do move this, if we do get the chance to move this down to Reveal Sam, then at least we'll have another 5th core unit. Maybe in Malmedy, maybe, and might be able to move to, well, to be honest, it could strategically move into Sinvath, or maybe it'll then just take over from this unit that moves out of Trois Ponts, something like that. So I think I'm maybe thinking more the 5th core. Okay, 30 minutes gone. Good stuff. Right, well, we'll do a German impulse then, and then that'll maybe do me. And then that might create a part. Well, it depends how long it's going to be, I suppose. Oh, it's not too... It's a wee bit dark in this corner here. I always feel like there's a lamp. You see that lamp that's up on the other table there? I think that would be perfectly positioned just at the edge of this table, just shining in there. But anytime I watch back in this corner, it seems to be alright. So I think for me, looking at that area right now, just looking at it, it's quite dull, you know. To be honest, yeah, the whole thing's a bit dull, really. It's night time. Yeah. Well, and if it's daylight, the that's a window there, so like I'm getting the light coming in. Oops. Right, okay. Right, German Impulse. Let's flip 2 cards over. Hope I'm not jumping ahead of things. I don't think so. That was just played an event, moved the unit. Because that was just playing an event rather than activating anything, wasn't it? Where does it say? Activating allied units and formations. See, we're playing an event and just followed the event there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we're good to go. Right. Let's do a German Impulse. So that's 85th Corps, and that's 67 Corps. Right. So neither primary. Well, we know there's no primary cards because of the way we go. They both got a cost of 2. Hang on. Yeah, command value. That's the word I was looking for. So no primary cards. They both got a command value of 2. So then we take the lowest ID number as a command card. This, I don't know if you can see it. That's a 59. That's a 63. So that's where we're keeping them. And okay, so does the support card have a command event? It has a special Wunderheit. They've done the Wunderheit anyway, don't they? But anyway, that's a special. It's not just a normal event. It's only an event that we do here. So no event on the card. So then we go to the command card, and we're not playing G, it's not the 20th yet, so we're going to activate all units in 85th Corps. Right, that's the pinky ones, and it is the pinky ones, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, okay, so there's 3 here, is there? Yeah, he's actually been reduced, hit and reduced, the bottom one there. So 3 infantry units there, a stronger infantry unit there with 4 steps, and then this armoured unit. They are not the ones with the core objective, are they? No, in fact, I've got the core objective markers all there. Are none of them activated then? Obviously not, Grant. Okay, there's the core objective markers. None of them are in play yet, so... but it's not applying to this core, so they're going to look at their oh, that was that something that came up? You know what, what I'm going to start getting a little bit, it's going to cause me a little bit bother, is because I've been watching some of my old footage and thinking the questions that have came up in that and trying to sort of relate them to this playthrough, and they're not. Yeah, the questions there were... Well, actually, let us look at all the questions. Well, I'm not going to... What I mean is, it's not relevant here. They've got a army objective marker. Where is it? Oh, I don't think it's been played either yet. Sorry. That's the 3 core markers. Where's the 7th army objective marker then? It's not in play, is it? No, it's not. It's here. It is here. 7th Army. It can either go west or south. Yeah, this is the first activation in any 7th Army, isn't it? Yeah. So, well, that is the next... Well, rather than me look at these questions... I'll come back to that in a minute. Yeah, so first remove allied roadblocks. Is there any roadblocks adjacent to any of these units? No. And then we check the location and objective marker for which the army for the army to which the active units belong, relocating if required. Well, we've not placed this yet, so we're going to roll a die in the first objective placement. It's either going to go in Ettlebrook South, Mersh West, or Wilts South. And that depends on what we roll in this dice. So 1 to 6 is the most common one. Well, it's more likely 1 to 6 is going to be Ettlebrook South. I've rolled a 9 though. So that is going 7 to 9 is Mersh West. And that's on that first objective placement table. It's on page 24. That was there. That's what I was looking at. So 7 to 9 is Mersh West. So this get placed in Mersh is quite close by. There it's there. So Mersh West. Right, that's that. Now yeah, I think my question, I don't know if you need to go into this or not. There's a few times when, this isn't relevant to this core, right? But this core it would be, because they've got a core objective marker. And let's just say that the core objective, where does it start? Consdorf, is it 2505? Yeah, Consdorf. So it's going to go in there. In fact, I could have that in here now, because that's where it goes. But it does sort of say in the rules that once these are activated, this is when you bring this out of play. But anyway, I suppose this isn't really relevant to this, but it just cropped up. I've thought about it. So if we activated them, they've got a core objective, but this is also their army objective. Well, a lot of movement methods and other things talk about getting closer to your army objective. And one of the questions that came up, and we'll see if it was one of the ones that Martin asked or I got an answer to somehow, was should this core in particular, when it talks about its army objective, should it look at this or this? Yeah, no, Ramon answered this, and he left a comment on this. And this is one that I think we took it as being that it should look at its core objective, but the rules, they say army objective. So you're kind of like, I'm going to want to break the rules here and think core objective. And I think at the time Martin felt like, and I did too, I felt like it should be, when it said army objective, if this is on the map, then it should be looking at that. But I think this got answered or confirmed as being not the case. So in fact, it's question 2. Here, let's just have a look. I can say this isn't relevant to what's happening just now. Question 2. When German units are advancing after combat, well, okay, the question is about advancing after combat, but it's relevant to the to what we're talking about. German units are advancing after combat. One secondary priority is towards army objective, and it does say army objective, right? So rules as written, army objective. Doesn't sort of feel right though. If the attacking units have a core objective, should that be used here, or do they also want to advance towards the army objective? John Butterfield says use the army objective. Core objectives apply to movement, not combat. And it does say that. I want to say it says that somewhere. I thought there might have been another question regarding that. But I think that kind of clears that anyway. I suppose I would need to look. I think it does when it talks about core objective movement. Give me a sec. I think this might come up again. I get the feeling that there is talk about using movement methods when it says army objective. I think what John's saying there is, because this is advance after combat, I don't know if there's another, maybe there's another question here. I get the feeling that there's times when you're making a movement that it's said closer to army objective, and when it's a core, you would think it's core objective. Yeah, we'll maybe come back to that. If anybody wants to put me straight on that, feel free. Okay, so that's not relevant, and we'll put that back just now until it happens. Right, we've dealt with the core objective. Come on, Grant. Yeah, let's get going. Okay, so we're activating all units. We've done that. So we're going to move these units Okay. Yeah, let me think. Let me think about. I noticed again the way I done this, which was probably better, was just having a look at it myself, then pausing the camera, and then coming and finding the first movement method that's applicable. And that's what I've done in the first playthrough, and I think it seemed to work. I'm not sure I started this playthrough that way, but we've got 3 infantry units there, 1 infantry unit there, a mechanised unit, an armoured unit there. So let's see what's going to happen for. Right, okay, I went right through movement methods 1 to 9, and nothing's doing. I think this is the best way of doing it. You know, if you're following along, you can look yourself rather than, because yeah, I felt like I was sort of the start of this video playthrough. I was going through everyone. You know, can it exit the map? Can it move adjacent to the muse? Can it enter an empty ally DPX? No. In my previous playthrough, I just found the first movement method that I thought was right. Now, sometimes I made a mistake, and so I do need you to pay attention, see if that's going to happen. So yeah, I'm right through to movement method 10. There's nothing they can do. Can't get, this is the nearest VPX, but they can't get around to that. Whatever. So I've decided we're at movement method 10. So these apply and send an order, don't they? Oh, it's numbered unit, yeah. So this is 2, 8, 6, 5, and he's reduced, so he's going to be the highest, 33 down the bottom there. So number 2 first. Can he move his arrows? Probably unlikely. He can't move from there to there because it's zone of control to zone of control. Now hold on. And he can't move from there to there because it's zone of control. Well, actually, that's got a B, so this bridge is broken anyway. So, not moving my arrows. Closer to army objective. Right, well, we know his army's objective is here. So, can I get closer to that? I don't think so. Is it? You know, he can't come across the river there. He's in this guy's zone of control. No, I don't think he can do that either. Infiltrate towards army objective. Well, no, because he's on his own. And then the last movement method is move adjacent to an allied unit if not already adjacent to an allied unit. Well, he is already adjacent, so he's not going to move. Yeah, and that's going to be it. And it's difficult down this little corner. These do start doing a little bit, but these, well, we'll see. Some of these might jump over the river here, maybe. I don't think so though, because they're not getting closer to their army objective. So, well, that's him checked. Next unit is, what have I got? I've got 5 and 6 in there. So, well, hang on. What about arrows? Yeah, no, I did see this move. I made this move just recently in my previous playthrough. So the primary arrow is a B, so bridge, but I mean, you can't move across that anyway. There's a secondary arrow crossing there though. And this is unit selector number 5 we're looking at. So with movement arrows, this guy can spend all his movement following the secondary movement arrow to cross the river. Yeah, he's allowed to do that because it costs him his whole movement allowance to cross an unbridged river. So that's why he gets away with following the arrow there. Okay, so that's right. And then Unit 6, but Unit 6 would do the same. However, you're only allowed to cross one unbridged river hex side with 1 unit per impulse. You know, so another unit can't cross that unbridged. They could, if there was a unit there, it could go across that unbridged river hex side, but not the same one as this one's done. So he can't follow his arrows. He can get closer to his objective, maybe. Oh yeah, I think he can. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away. But if he goes out and in, as in 1, 2, breaking zone of control, and then 3 back into there, he's then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. So, yeah, infantry moving into the woods. It's only 1, isn't it? Yeah, for the woods it's 1 for infantry. So, unit selector number 6, and it's the only hex he can move to that's closer. Hey. Yeah, so 1, 2 breaking zone of control, 3 into there. Now, he's now adjacent to an allied unit, wanting to check 9.24, isn't it? Yeah, I've been watching through all that carry on again, but it all makes sense, actually. It all comes together. That one and the other one I'm at the moment is causing surround. And not just causing surround, but the second bit of causing surround says, well, no, it's the first sort of bullet. It says a German unit already causing an allied unit to be surrounded, but that is not adjacent to the allied unit, moves adjacent if possible. And that seemed to bring up a whole lot of headaches for me. But I'm watching back on it now thinking, that guy's not actually causing the surround, Grant. There's other units causing the surround. It's not specifically him. I think I'll eventually get there with that, and it could be one of the questions in this list as well, but we'll get to it. We'll see it when it happens. So that's 5, 6, and 2 we've done as well. He's just not moved. That was something that, yeah, that's going to come up as well. Let's not talk about that just now. Right, so Unit 8 is next. Now he's mechanised. Can he move his arrows? Well, he's only got 1 arrow and it's moving into that hex, and it's only 1 movement, so no. Can he move closer to his army objective? Well, he must be able to. So, where can he go? Okay, well, there's 3 possible options. I mean, that one's even getting closer, but I'm not going to mark that because, what is it? It's moved to a hex closer to not the same distance from unit's army objective. If more than one hex is closer, move to a hex adjacent to an allied unit against which the moving unit has a combat strength advantage of at least 3 to 1. So, all these 3 are adjacent to allied units. That's why he's not going to pick. Well, I suppose if there was no 3 to 1 advantage. So if he goes here, the strength advantage is, well, all this is coming across the river, so that would be 2 and another 5 is 7. Half to cross the river is 3.5, so it's 3 to 3. So that's 1 to 1. So that's not a 3 to 1 advantage. If he goes here, it's just him and this guy. That's 7 coming across the river. Again, it's a 3 to 3, 1 to 1 advantage. And if he goes, if he goes here, it's the same because it's active units. Oh, hang on, no, it's all active units. Reserve units bolts. Have we got any yet? No. Right. Okay. So you consider all German units adjacent to the target, all active units of reserve units bolts, and all active on-map units proximate to target have not yet moved. Oh yeah. Okay. So, oh, he's only the one that's not yet moved. I mean, he's not yet moved, right? But he's not going to move because he's been through all his movement methods. So the only unit that's not yet moved that could move would be this. So, but he can't reach any of that. So to be honest, each one of them is not going to get a 3 to 1 advantage, is it? So it says if no hex or more than one hex offers a 3 to 1 advantage, move to the hex closest to the objective. And I think these are only 3. I mean, he can... Yeah, I mean, he's going up there. His army objective is down here. So, I mean, he could move into that one. I don't think that's getting closer, is it? No, it won't be. That's not helping at all. So, other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he's 6 away, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't get in here. It's between these 3, and this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. This one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away, and this hex here is only 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So I think this is where he moves. So 1, and then it's 3 more back into the woods. Three for a mechanized unit. So that's him. Okay, and then we've got one more unit. There's a bracketed unit there. He can't move via arrows because, again, this is only move. Move to close to the army objective. Well, he can move in here as well then, can't he? Is he going to do that too? Yeah, he's going to do that too. So 1, 2 breaking zone of control, and then 1 back into there. Hey, stop. Oh well, you know what? He's going to do that. And here's my question, which I'm pretty sure is going to come up in the future anyway, and might be asked in that list of questions. So he wants to make that move. 1, 2 breaking zone of control, and then 1 back into there, which gets on 1 hex closer. So I just zoomed in there as well. It was fine the way it was. It gets on 1 hex closer to his army objective. I mean, he is moving adjacent to an allied unit, blah blah blah, but it's not getting. We're not getting the 3-1 advantage. So he's wanting to get as close as possible to this. And that hex is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. Ooh, actually, that hex is 5 away as well. 1, 2, 3. So in actual fact, it could be that hex or that hex. Could be that hex or that hex. Yeah, if no hex offers a 3-1 advantage, move to the hex closest to the objective. Both of them are 5 away. However, the tiebreaker comes down to the westernmost, doesn't it? Because it's on the objective marker, isn't it? Where's the actual general tiebreakers again? Ah, there we go. Closest to the army objective marker. If they're both the same compass direction, then it would be northernmost. So it does want to tiebreak into this. So it would move 1, 2, 3 into here. However, he's now adjacent to an allied unit, and we want to check 9.24. 9.24 says that he wants to be in an empty hex. So he's not going to move, he's going to stay here. And here's a question that I'm pretty sure came up in my previous playthrough, and I can't remember the answer to it. Because this unit made this move, is he now considered to have moved, even though he's back where he is? I think the answer to that is no. He just doesn't move. And you might say, well, what difference does it make? Well, if a unit's not moved, it can sometimes do other things. It can be removed to the reserves. And yeah, it can sometimes do other things. There's a couple of things, isn't there? It could build an IP. There's the other one, isn't it? We're not at that stage yet, but it could. So, but because it wanted to move into here and then just, what's the words? Tactically adjusted back to there, is it considered moved? I'm pretty sure this is answered elsewhere, but I just thought we'd talk about it just now. It's not going to be relevant here, but it clearly could be in some cases. If this unit was, I want to say I don't think it is classed as moved, even though it wants to go here and it adjusts back to there. I might have that one wrong actually. Anyway, he's going to adjust back to there. He's not going to move because he wants to be in the empty hex adjacent to this unit. Right? That's it. Right? Let's get this wrapped up, Grant. So we've got 2 checks to make. That's all our movement. We've got 2 checks to make. We go in ascending order. So we've got unit number 2 here. So the check is going to be across in this armoured unit. The strength is 7 here, but it's halved across the river. So we're doing a situational strength check here. So that's 3.5. And then he's in a forest, so he gets a +1. So we're 3. Well, we're 3 to 4, so we're less than 1 to 1 now, aren't we? Adjacent supplies unit, dispersal supply. Yeah, we're 3 to 4. So if it's less than 1 to 1, it doesn't happen. Eh? Less than 1 to 1, the attack's cancelled. Yeah. So that's checked and done. The other one is here, and in fact, it's not going to be 3 to 3. It's not going to be 1 to 1 either, is it? That's 3 5 across the rivers. 2. So that's 2 to 3. That's less than 1 to 1 as well. So there's no attack. There's no attacks to do. I just like to double check. That's me. German unit activation. Move the units. Reserves. None of that. Conduct attacks. We've done the checks. Remove eligible attitude units to the reserve units box. 9.6. And see, this is where we sort of need to know if this guy's moved or not. This guy didn't move. We went right through his movement methods and he didn't move. So that's fine. I'm not 100% sure if this guy's considered to have moved or not. But I know I'm going to find the answer to that. Because I know it cropped up in my previous... In fact, let me just quickly glance through these questions. It's not one of the... I know that I can see one of the questions that come up here. So I'm sure it's something more simpler than... I know it came up. I want to say that my belief is that this guy's not considered to have moved. And we know that other guy. Right, can that guy possibly bounce back to reserves then? We've done a check for him, but what is that, 9.6, is it? 9.6. Check to see. Check active units one at a time. Units eligible if all the following apply. The unit did not move or attack. Well, it didn't. The unit was not placed on the map from reserves, no. The unit is adjacent to an allied unit, yes. The unit can trace reserve supply. I think it can. Remind myself. Yeah, it's the reserve one. You can't go through friendly units, is it? Oh god. Yeah. Hang on. Reserve supply 13.3. Just a quick glance at that. Hang on. That's what happens when you just don't stick with the game and leave it for a bit. 30.3. Oh, come on, where are you? Reserve supplies traced like regular. It may not be traced through a hex in an allied zone of control, even if occupied by a German unit. Yeah, I thought that. Right, so it's yeah, he's in reserve supply. He can go 1, 2, and then he's on a supply head. So, and then the last one, the removal unit would leave at least 2 steps in the hex, 3 steps in a VP hex. Well, he is. He's going to leave that. He's going to leave that guy. So, what's bothering me is he was active. We went right through the movement methods and he didn't move. But, I mean, he didn't move, Grant. The unit did not move or attack. I think that's okay. The final movement method was move adjacent to an allied unit if not already adjacent to an allied unit. Yeah, I think that's okay. And we done an attack check and it failed, so yeah, I think he's going back to the reserves then. Yeah, I'm not feeling super comfortable about that, but so he goes to the German reserve units box, and we just need to remember that next time this core activate, then he might come out to play and do other things and whatever. That is okay. This guy can't, although he's not moved. He's not going to be leaving two steps in the hex. But again, is the question that he wanted to move into here and then tactically adjust back to there. Does that mean he's moved? I know. I asked this before, definitely. So I'm sure if I keep watching my footage, I'm going to see this coming up. But if somebody wants to say, look, and you can see, I told my guys 45 degrees if they've moved. Also, the other bit, one of the other bits come up. There's two little. Actually, I thought that might have been asked. Was that not asked? There's two movement methods. I've spoken about this before. I'm going to get myself all confused by watching old footage of things, I think. One is... Actually, I think there's three mentions of this. German infantry unit adjacent to an allied town or unit. The German unit does not move and its movement is considered complete. Right? That's one of the wordings. The next movement method, this is movement method 7 and 8. The unit does not move and its movement is considered complete. Right, but the infiltrate says, upon completion of this move, all active units in the hex from which the move begun are considered to have moved. That's different. I remember John Brown, sort of class and name is the same, I think. I know the question came up. I'm sure that's in that set of questions. You know what? I'm going to have a look through these questions that I've printed out, and maybe that'll be clearer to me. Yeah, that's going to come up as well. Right, I'm going to wrap things up here because we managed to get that to an hour somehow. And that's that core done its thing. There was nothing more to do. We removed eligible units to reserve, so hopefully we've got that right. Place IP markers there doesn't start till the 20th. And remove disperse markers from units in the active formation. That's it. Okay, so that's yeah. When I was doing the check, we should have checked the support card, shouldn't we? For assault coordination, I think it is. It's not. It's got reinforced battle. Is that when you do that? 9.5 is that? I think you do. Yeah. Support card shows assault coordination. We would have checked units. Yeah, I didn't go over that right enough. This time, if they activate again, this unit then gets considered to be brought in. You then consider this as part of your situational strength check. Your German attack determination, which is also a situational strength check. Right, okay, so that's now done. That's their impulse over. However, they didn't use the command, the support card. So the support card's going to come across and become another command card. So I'm kind of not finished this impulse. But I'm at an hour and 3 minutes, and I've run out of time as well. So going to leave that at that. Bit of luck, I might get this uploaded so that somebody can make sure that we're getting that bit right, and possibly confirm some of the other things I was talking about, if you understood what was going on about, that is. Okay, but maybe not, because I'm hoping to get another bit done tomorrow. So it would mean I would have to watch this back and get out there tonight, which is probably unlikely. We shall see. I'll be back with the next part, hopefully quite soon. Fingers crossed. Cheers.